In the heart of a faraway village, there stood an ancient tree unlike any other. Its trunk was wide and twisted, its branches reached out like long arms, and its bark was marked with scars that looked like faces frozen in silent screams. By day it cast a deep, cool shadow, but by night it seemed to come alive, whispering through the wind, creaking as though it breathed, and groaning as though it remembered every secret it had ever heard. The villagers called it the haunted tree, and none dared to go near it once the sun had set. Children were warned to stay away. Travelers passing through were told to take another road. Yet, no matter how many stories were told, the tree stood, old and proud, at the edge of the forest, as if it were waiting. One autumn evening, when the sky was painted gold and the leaves fell in showers of fire, a young girl named Leora sat by her window, gazing at the haunted tree in the distance. She was braver than most, curious by nature, and full of questions that no one in the village could answer. "Why do we call it haunted?" she asked her grandmother. "Because," the old woman whispered, "inside that tree lives the memory of sorrow. Once long ago, it was cursed, and curses are not so easily forgotten." But Leora's heart was not satisfied with whispers. That very night, while the moon rose full and bright, she wrapped herself in a cloak and walked quietly to the edge of the forest. Her lantern flickered as the wind blew, and each step closer to the haunted tree made her heart pound harder. When she reached it, she lifted her lantern high, and for the first time saw the faces in the bark move as though alive, eyes opening, mouths shifting, sighs escaping. "Who comes to me?" groaned a voice deep from the trunk. Leora swallowed her fear. "It's me, Leora. I want to know why you are haunted." The branches rustled, and the ground shivered under her feet. "I was not always haunted," the tree whispered. "Once I was filled with joy. Children played beneath me, birds sang in my arms, lovers carved their promises into my bark. But long ago, a heart heavy with sorrow sat beneath me. A man who had lost all hope cried into my roots, and in his grief, he cursed the world. His pain sank into my wood, his cries into my branches, and his curse into my soul. From that day, I became the keeper of sorrow, the guardian of restless whispers." Leora's eyes filled with tears. "That is so sad," she said softly. "But must you carry his pain forever? Can no one help you?" The tree groaned, as though the weight of centuries pressed upon it. "Perhaps," it sighed, "but no one has ever asked. All fear me. None have spoken with kindness." Leora stepped forward and placed her hand on the rough bark. "Then let me be the first," she whispered. "If sorrow can be planted, then so can hope. If pain can take root, then so can healing." She closed her eyes, and with all her heart, she wished for light to enter the tree's shadow, for joy to return to its hollow heart, for the curse to be lifted. The wind stilled. The lantern flame grew steady, and slowly, the faces in the bark softened. Eyes that had been twisted in anguish began to close in peace. Mouths that had groaned began to smile faintly. The tree shivered, not with fear, but with relief. Its branches lifted higher toward the moon, and a faint glow spread through its trunk, as if a sleeping spirit had finally been set free. "You have given me what no one else dared," the tree whispered, its voice lighter, almost gentle. "Compassion. From this night forth, I will not haunt, but protect. Those who come here in fear will find courage. Those who come in sorrow will find comfort. And you, Leora, will always be remembered as the one who broke my curse." Leora smiled, tears shining in her eyes. She bowed her head in respect and stepped back, watching as the haunted tree transformed. No longer twisted in shadow, it stood proud and tall, its leaves shimmering silver under the moon. The forest around it seemed to breathe easier, the night air lighter, as if an old burden had been lifted. When she returned to the village, the people were astonished to see the tree glowing gently in the distance, no longer dreadful but magnificent. From that day forward, it was no longer called the haunted tree, but the guardian tree. Children played under its shade once more. Travelers found safe passage beneath its branches, and those who carried sorrow in their hearts came to sit by its roots, leaving lighter than when they arrived. And though many years have passed, the story of Leora and the tree lives on. Even now, If you listen closely beneath its branches, you might hear not groans, but whispers of gratitude, reminding all who pass that even the darkest curses can be lifted by a single act of courage and kindness.